There's a steamer in the harbor with her engines shot with fire, and our hearts have gone aboard her for the island of desire. This time our destination is Mackinac Island, and the good ship upon which we are about to sail is being guided out into Lake Michigan, just off the Chicago shore. It is a beautiful boat with a cruising speed of 15 knots, typical of the luxury liners that ply the Great Lakes during the summer season, transporting thousands of passengers to the many popular resorts for which the Great Lakes region is famous. Before departing, however, we will take a final look at the skyline of Chicago, picturesquely outlined in the haze of a summer day. Although this Midwestern metropolis is far from the shores of any ocean, it is benevolently favored by the waters of Lake Michigan, connecting with the largest chain of lakes in the world. And now our boat is underway with its unfailing compass pointed in the direction of Mackinac Island, one of the travel highlights of the Great Lakes. About 20 hours later, the impressive island of Mackinac looms into sight. Incidentally, when we first arrived on this unique island, we called it Mackinac, but we were informed that the correct pronunciation is Mackinac, as it is the French derivation of the original Indian name. The Indians who lived here prior to the arrival of the European explorers believed that this old landmark, known as Arch Rock, was formed by their gods as a natural gateway to the island. Our entrance, however, is by way of this harbor, where the more practical handiwork of man is in picturesque evidence. Historically speaking, the first white men to explore this region were the French, and they came upon it while seeking a new passageway to Asia over 300 years ago. Among the early French explorers was the famous priest, Père Marquette, who established the first mission on the Straits of Mackinac in 1671. His statue stands today in the little park that bears his name and commemorates his memory. The village of Mackinac has a proud population of about 500 inhabitants who live here the year around. But during the summer season, the influx of visitors swells the population to several thousand. Conspicuously situated on a hill overlooking this quaint little town is the historic old fort, which was originally constructed on the Straits of Mackinac and used by the French in their war with the British, who captured it in 1760 and reconstructed it here about 20 years later. During the War of 1812, it was captured by the Americans, making the Stars and Stripes the third flag to fly over its ramparts. Aside from its military importance, Mackinac Island was a busy commercial center, being the headquarters of the American Fur Company, established here by John Jacob Astor, founder of the great Astor fortune. The Biddle House, oldest on the island, was built in 1818 and was the home of the chief clerk of the American Fur Company. War, commerce, and religion, all three have played their part in the history of Mackinac Island. This church was built in 1829 with funds donated by New Englanders, and today some of the good people of Mackinac dress in the costumes of their forefathers for our benefit, bringing to life a scene from the past. Somehow the past and present seem to mingle together on this quaint island where automobiles have not yet been introduced, and the only means of vehicular transportation is by way of carriages and bicycles.
A stylish marriage I can't afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet on the seat of a bicycle built for two.
We hope traffic on Mackinac Island will continue to be as it is now, for it is a relief to move back into the past occasionally, far from the madding crowd, and relax in this semblance of yesterday. where even the village blacksmith comes to life as a most important member of the community. We were told that this 80-year-old blacksmith and his assistant shoe more than 1,200 horses during the peak of their season. Home Sweet Home takes on a new meaning in this unique little realm, where the simple life of colonial America is still preserved. When the Jesuit missionaries first came here, they brought with them tiny bushes of lilacs, which they've since grown and spread throughout the island. In the month of June, the perfume of these lilacs fills the air with fragrance and inspires a spirit of romance, which is fittingly expressed in Leslie Kirk's song, entitled, "When It's Lilac Time on Mackinac Island."
When it's lilac time on Mackinac Island, I'll dream of you, my dear. Under the moon in this sweet perfume, I'll see the love light in your tear. When it's lilac time on Mackinac Island, I'm coming back to you. And once again, darling, there'll be joy without end. So wake, my love, and be true.
Apparently, the chief purpose of Mackinac Island is to provide rest and relaxation for the thousands of visitors who come here every summer. And in this respect, the grand old game of golf comes in for its share of popularity. And now we come to that romantic institution, justifiably called the grandest of grand hotels, the largest of its kind in the world, the hotel property itself comprising 500 acres of land. The story of this famous hostelry reads like a chapter from American history, and its register of notable guests is the equivalent of an international who's who. While sitting on the longest porch in the world, we are reminded of a day in 1887 when that famous American statesman, Chauncey Depew, who gave the hotel its name, stood on this porch and said in his dedication speech, "This institution is more than a hotel. It is a symbol of the grandness of American hospitality, and may the stars and stripes continue to wave over it as long as it remains worthy of that grand tradition." Several generations have passed away since Chauncey Depew dedicated this hotel, but we feel the generation that dances here today is enjoying the American way of life in keeping with the grand tradition. One of the most popular attractions on Mackinac Island is the unique swimming pool on the hotel grounds. On this romantic isle, at least, it seems that God's in his heaven and all's right with the world. And it is with this thought that we say farewell to Mackinac Island, pride of the Great Lakes.